Uthingo was approached by the Sewerage station to design a sewage system to treat the effluent from the compound at 25 kilolitres a day flow. The septic tanks were bypassed and the sewage pipes installed leading down to the plant. This is more of the compound. As you can see, it's very neat, and the septic tanks were causing a tremendous problem with costs and spillages, etc. So it was decided to replace these septic tanks with a Uthingo sewage plant, and all of these houses were connected with pipes. And then you will see at the bottom, there's the sewage plant at the bottom. There we go. You can see it just sticking out there, and the pipes were sent down to the plant to be treated and to be released into the environment as pure, clean water. The first anaerobic tank. As you can see, the sewage has been broken down to a fine sewage sludge. The bacteria love to digest that sewage sludge, and in the digestion they change that sludge into carbon dioxide and water. And in operation, the bacteria double in quantity every half an hour. You will notice now when we get to the second tank how that sludge is being developed. There we're taking a sample. Now you can see the condition of the water in the first anaerobic tank. Now it looks terrible, it looks like it's full of sludge, but you stir the stick and you see it's a very, very thin top layer. Very thin top layer, because the bacteria keep it under control and they digest it continually. And that's after 2.5 years. Here we're hitting the bottom of the tank. There's no bubbles coming up to show that there's a gas escaping. The methane gas would start bubbling if you disturb the sewage build-up at the bottom. This is now the second anaerobic tank. Here the further bacteria digest the fine particles that have come into contact in this tank, and they will turn that into carbon dioxide, making it quite a clean water to pass on to the aeration chamber. As you can see, it's a very, very thin layer, as most 90% of the sludge has already been digested in the first tank. Here we will take a second sample to see that how the quality of the water has improved. As you can see, the water improvement is already quite drastic, to show that the plant is operating efficiently. This is the first aeration tank, tank number 3. There you can see the air bubbles operating inside the tank. Now in this instance, the bacteria, with the help of oxygen, digest the solids further and turn it into carbon dioxide. The amines, ammonia and nitrates in this situation are changed to nitrates. There you can see the bubbles bubbling nicely, cleaning the water. This is tank number 4. Again, an aeration. We allow enough time for the bacteria to polish the water at a certain amount of oxygen supplied into the water to help the bacteria digest. It polishes the water even further. We will now take a sample of this water. There you can see, absolutely perfect. The water has now changed from a horrible dark color to a perfectly clean water, ready for disposal. This is the 5th tank, the last tank, where that clean water is received. The clean water is full of denitrifying bacteria. That bacteria is specific now for this plant, ideal. Return activated bacteria is activated and ready for this plant. Here is the first tank that receives that clean water on a return basis. What happens here for 3 reasons. Number 1, the return activated bacteria helps to digest the sludge coming in. Number 2, it changes the nitrites to nitrogen gas, which escapes to the air. And number 3, It is a recycling of bacteria all the time, so that it ensures that there is no bacteria absent inside the first tank. And there's the 3 of the stages of the water that have been cleaned. The pump room, there's a 1.5 kilowatt pump which supplies the air. There's the timer for the RAS that is at a designed rate. It pumps the water from the RAB chamber into the first anaerobic chamber in order that the bacteria does its work. And there's the little black pump that does the work, pumping from the 5th chamber to the 1st chamber. That is all that is in the pump. No moving parts inside the plant at all.